It's been 70 years of inspiration, grit, grind, patience, and a lot of discipline. What would you say is your biggest win?
Somebody called me and said, "What is this you're doing? People go into government to bring home stuff. You go into government to give away the little." I keep saying potential, potential. Potential must be turned by people, and it requires good people with strong will to do it. I've been very privileged to be married to a woman who thinks like me, a very strong woman. Without her, during the difficult years, I would not have been able to survive.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back, Prof.
Thank you.
Today we have Insights with Prof, but we're going to have Insights of Prof, not Insights.
I hope I survive it.
Yeah, no, you survive. So you're going to be 70. You don't look a day over 60, but here you're going to be 70 very soon.
And I was thinking people will be saying, this man, he has suffered in life, so he must be like 85
No.
or so. No.
And I even forgot that you were Minister of Science and Technology. So, and so if I can forget,
Before many people were born.
yeah, which means a lot of people probably just know you as Professor Bart Nnaji, Minister of Power,
Yeah,
Geometric Power.
yeah.
So let's
And some also think, which they ask me, which university were you professor in Nigeria? I say, I haven't had the privilege.
let's help people so that when they see you, let's go back. I know my dear auntie will feature on this. Let's go back to your early years. Give us snippets of Professor Bart Nnaji, the boy, Professor Bart Nnaji, the teenager, Professor Bart Nnaji, the connoisseur. Then we'll move from there.
Well, I started, I was up until I was 7 in my village.
Where's the village?
Well, at that time it was Uruku, Oruku, was my village. Now it's Umuode because, autonomous communities got created. So I was there till 7. Then my family, we have this thing about the larger family. Any child can be taken by one of the people in the family to live with them. So I went to live with my uncle, who was headmaster in another town in Kano land. So that's where I stayed until I finished primary school. I did my primary school there. But I was not, at the beginning, I think the reason why I had to go was that my mother was spoiling me rotten. So my family, the larger family, felt that this boy is not going to amount to much if we leave him here. So they had to take me. Did I know what was going on? But all I knew is that I was not interested in school.
You were not interested?
No, I was not. In fact, I was a very bad student. Yes. In fact, and then when I went to live with my uncle, I failed my class. And my uncle, who was headmaster, he was teaching standard 5, came to teach 2, where I was. And that was just terrible for me, because he would not ask me the question that I know the answer. And if I don't have the response, I will get the cane. So I had to know everything. Would you know? I went from failing to coming first at the end of that year. And then we skipped class. Okay? I skipped a class, so I never did 3, elementary 3. I went to 4 and came first. And from there on, and I was doing what I was doing. So I was 11 when the war came. And I had finished my primary school. The Civil War, yes, the Civil War, 1966. So, and I had gotten into Government College, Port Harcourt, and they said I was too young to go, that I should wait till the next year to go. But then the war came, and so I couldn't go. And so for 3 years, I was not in school. Like most children during the war, we were refugees. In fact, my family, we were in Ishiago, now Ebonyi State. That's where we went to to stay during the war. Luckily, we didn't get kwashaka, you know. So, because my uncle had a way of, wherever we come, we plant crops and vegetable, and we didn't really know that those were things that helped us to survive the war. So after the war, they said I shouldn't go far from our home. So I went to now St. Patrick's College in Emene, near Enugu. So that's where I now went for my secondary school. I would say the only thing is that I was very serious-minded. I don't know how it is that I knew some of my classmates that were, doing all kinds of rascally things, but I would focus on school and not follow them. My last year in secondary school, I was deputy senior prefect of my school. The children in my own dormitory, we were doing inter-house sports, and I noticed that they were so little, they wouldn't win, and I wanted our dormitory to win. So I decided to participate. I had never done athletics before. Somehow, I don't know how it was, I felt I was going to be able to beat those guys, my friends, that were already running for state.
Oh, wow.
Yes, there were people representing the state in my school. So I went to do long jump, triple jump, 100 meters, hurdles. And would you believe it? I actually came first in long jump and triple jump. And that time, the State Sports Commission would be invited during inter-house sports at some of the major colleges. So they came and they invited me to come for their sports festival, a state sports festival. And would you know, I came second for the whole state, East Central State at that time. Then they invited me to come to camp at the Insulu Games Village. It was only just recently when we were in Abadata, I knew where Insulu was. At that time, they would simply put us in buses and take us to wherever. So we went there. And then that's how I went to represent East Central State at the National Sports Festival. And it was based on that I was part of what prepared me to go to US and be a student athlete.
Oh, you were a student athlete, not
I still hold the school's record, a university in America.
Wait, you went to America on an athlete scholarship.
Yes, even though they gave me state government scholarship.
That I didn't know.
So you see?
Oh, long jump. You're an athlete.
Yeah, long jump. I was, yes. I actually was.
Okay, so you went to University of Maryland?
No. St. John's University.
St. John's University.
Before going to Virginia Tech and MIT after that.
So St. John's University, where you went, you were a student athlete.
Yes.
Then you went to Virginia Tech.
Yes.
For
master's and PhD
in
mechanical and industrial engineering.
And then you were not tired, then you now went to MIT for
postdoc.
And then after that?
And then I went to University of Massachusetts as a professor. That's where I became a professor there.
Okay, so what were you teaching at the University of Massachusetts?
Robotics and robotics really.
Okay.
But the basis of robotics is artificial intelligence because the main brain of the robot is AI.
Okay,
at that time,
with just a short recap, you went from being a rascal, excuse my French.
I thought I wasn't a rascal.
You went from being a rascal.
Yeah, I'm a totally uninterested student.
Uninterested in school, became focused while your friends were being boys.
And graduating first in the university, eventually.
So there's different aspects of your life where you've made decisions that have led you on a path that you were not probably going to be on.
Yeah.
Now, what was the path that drove you from teaching in a very good university, very well-regarded university, to wanting to come back to this green pasture we call Nigeria?
Okay, two things actually. One, I don't know how I got the entrepreneurial mind, but my research work in robotics and AI, the outcome of it, I found that companies, computer companies like IBM, Digital Equipment Corporation, would use the outcome to do design of their computer. The control system part of it anyway, the enclosure part of it. When we were doing that, myself and my PhD students, we decided to set up a company to develop this stuff. And we did. That's that company's name, Geometric Machines.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that was my first company.
Okay.
So we set up Geometric Machines.
In the US?
In the US. Okay, Geometric Machines Incorporated. Then I was invited here to come and serve as Minister of Science and Technology, and I had to go.
So your company, Geometric Machines,
Yes.
put you onto the spotlight stage where the Nigerian government invited you to come back to serve.
Not that Geometric Machines. It was what I was doing as a professor.
The professor.
Because I was a professor, and at that time I was already known in my field. I was editor-in-chief of the International Journal of my field. I was fairly well known. It was because of professorship that I was.
So you're very well renowned. So why come and become a minister in Nigeria?
That's what people ask me. Somebody called me and said, "What is this you're doing? You leave something that is high profile, good income, and you go to the Minister of Science and Tech." But if I even tell you what happened to me as Minister of Science and Tech, you will even feel worse about it.
No.
So when I
won't feel worse, but this is why we want insight. What happened to you?
So I came. There was no Ministry of Science and Technology. It had been abolished a few years back.
But you went and they still appointed you to a
Yes.
ministry that didn't exist.
So they set up was by decree. The government itself was set up by decree, interim government. So the decree said there will be a Ministry of Science and Technology. And you know, the people who helped to set it up were people like PGDs and so on. So they know what the country needs.
Yes.
And so they said it. So when I came, there was no ministry. And so I started the Ministry of Science and Tech literally from my hotel room, working with Attorney General Akpangbo. We were now putting together the ministry. But interestingly, the ministers that had the various agencies didn't resist. They would simply give up and give to me. There was one agency, one agency and a science unit that were in the presidency. A National Agency for Engineering and Science Infrastructure, NASENI. It was reporting straight to the president. Then the science unit in the villa, reporting to the president. When you report to the president, there's no supervision. So I took them all back. Professor Godian Ezekwe, many people may remember him, the man that designed the Obunigwe, was minister before. It was abolished, and then he was made the head of NASENI. So I invited the man, we sat down, and a very wonderful, brilliant man. He agreed to now be part of the ministry. Not that he can actually say no as such, but I wanted us to negotiate, and we agreed. His executive secretary was so angry that this man is giving up something that is reporting straight to the president and reporting now to a minister. So that's how we now formed the Ministry of Science and Technology. Budget? None. So I was now using my personal money to run a whole lot of things.
The dollars.
In dollars. So now this. So my people would say, "You are the only one who would go to government. In government, people go into government to bring home stuff. You go into government to give away the little you had." So that was my own lot. But I was determined to set up the Ministry of Science and Tech in a way that it should never be abolished again. And I'm happy to say that since I set it up like that, it had never been abolished, because I said we need to have it made in such a way that people understand actually what science and technology would do in the life of a country. And that was just so critical. I even drew pictures for my colleagues in cabinet, the gap, okay, the chasm between research and industry and commercialization of products, just so that they understand what is powering Western countries and Asian countries.
How long were you Minister of Science?
3 months.
3 months?
Yes. I was sick once I left because all these things I'm talking about we did in 3 months. And my colleague was General Abacha. Okay. So General Abacha made coup on us.
So you were Minister of Science and Tech for 3 months.
Yes.
That experience.
Yes.
So you already had a legacy in America with robotics.
Yes. So I got to know what the problem of Nigeria, the problem of power, the problem of basic industries. So, in fact, PGD and I tried to set up, I keep saying PG, Dr. Pascal Dozie and I tried to set up an industry for auto parts manufacturing. So this auto parts manufacturing, I went to Korea, got Hyundai. Okay, they came here. Okay, we were ready to go, and we acquired a place where we do it. Except we found that power
was not there.
It was a major consumer of power for the sort of things we wanted to do, and that's why we now went into power.
Okay, so now I now know the genesis of my farm.
Yeah.
Your auto plant is where we now have a farm. So that's a story for another day. So given your experience with Nigeria, and now we've now found out how you now came to power.
Yes.
So how old were you at this point?
Okay, when I was Minister of Science and Tech.
Minister of Science and Tech.
Okay, yes. I was 30, I just turned 37.
So at 37, you were a minister.
I was already a full professor.
Full professor.
I had a company. I had been minister, yes.
So, Prof, 37, you've already been a minister. You were a superstar in America, robotics and AI well before its time. Nigeria happened to you as minister. You did not make any money.
No.
You now realize that power was where to go. Why stay? Why?
In fact, I went back after Science and Tech Ministry.
Okay, so you went back.
I went back.
You just
No, I didn't jump at all. No. I said I was a loan. I was on a loan to Nigeria.
Okay, so wait, at this point, 37, were you married?
I was in America.
You were married. So you left your family and came to Nigeria.
Yes. So I went back to America and continued 1993 to 2005 when I now took a leave to come back. From there, I resigned my position as a distinguished professor and also head of U.S. National Science Foundation to come and permanently and stay and pursue this power thing. Because I took a leave of absence. First, I took a sabbatical, then a leave of absence to work on the power problem. That is my own, not government. Not government.
Yes. So you took a leave of absence. You came back to Nigeria in 2005.
Yes.
While working on the power situation in Nigeria, once again.
But I actually started working in 2000 on the power because geometric power itself was formed in 2000. And we got a contract from government to build a power plant then.
Okay.
A small power plant in Abuja.
In Abuja?
In Abuja, yes. We built a small power plant.
So Geometric already built a small power plant in Abuja?
Yes. So but it wasn't, it was a contract project because the Shiroro power line was being built and they needed temporary power. Okay. So our company and a Scottish firm, we built the same equivalent power plant in Abuja to give power. We were giving power even to the villa and the central area of Abuja during that time.
Okay, so you built power, and then once again, Nigeria came calling.
Yeah.
And this time,
No, but they didn't come calling yet. Until it was when we had built ABBA, IPP, because it was from that small power plant that we now migrated to building ABBA, Integrated Power Project. And so it was when we had gone very far in building that. They said, some people revealed to the president that this man, he has seen all the Nigeria's problems in power. He knows about generation, he knows about distribution, he knows even to invite him. So that's how President Jonathan invited me. We sat for a few days talking about it. Then he said, come and make a presentation to his cabinet. I said, Mr. President, you take time more. He said, yes, he will give time. He said, how long? I said, 3 hours. He said he would do it. So on that day, he assembled his cabinet. He had not become the
substantial president.
Yes. So he invited me to make the presentation. And after the presentation, he said, I could be his advisor. But I think I should trace backwards. Before they invited me, they had, I think it's a 15-person committee that when he became acting president, chaired by General Danjuma. So that committee, I was invited to be part of it, to help him, to give him support.
Okay.
So it was after that he asked me to be, to come and
be an advisor.
So when I finished the presentation, he said, he's going to set up a committee right there, committee called Presidential Action Committee on Power, and that he will be chairman and I will be co-chairman. I was so happy because I didn't want to be part of government. Okay. I wanted to just continue to do journalism. Then I went away. That's when they went and said, how can a civilian be Oga's co-chair? That's where the wahala came. So he invited back and he said we should talk about me becoming his special advisor. And then set up a Presidential Task Force on Power. There's still Presidential Action Committee on Power, and then Presidential Task Force on Power, and I'll be special advisor and chairman of that one. But you know what that Action Committee on Power did was that every Tuesday, like clockwork, at 2 p.m., we would have a meeting. The president will be chairing, the Minister of Finance will be there, CBN governor, just anybody that would have anything to do to help power sector move forward. Controller of customs, okay, because they had so many things stacked in the customs, and I would be providing what we need to do. That's how things were moving very, very fast, because the president paid absolute attention to it. And then afterwards, so when we now finished and we did a plan, which we call the Power Reform Agenda, after that, he said, when he now won election, he said that I have to be his minister. That's how I became Minister of Power. So.
And you're Minister of Power for how long this time?
14 months.
14 months.
So things began to go awry. So I said, no, that's it. I had to go.
So you left once again. You left government once again. At least this time you had geometric power to go back to. So in your very jam-packed life, what would you say your legacy? I wouldn't say legacy, your legacies have been. Because right now we all know you as Professor Bart Nnaji, the power.
No, actually I would say that my main contribution is in developing communities and people. If you look at ABBA, that ABBA is about the people. In fact, we have as part of the logo, it says empowering the people. That's what we're about. We only invest in a power project that will impact communities. It's not just a place where you're going to make money. That's how my partner, PGD, and I saw the business. It's about making real impact. We are not foolish that you're not dashing away something, no. But we say you need to do this so that it will actually have impact, but it must make economic sense. So my legacy is about developing communities, and that's, if we go back to my own place, that's what I do, what I've been doing for years. I set up Bart Nnaji Foundation in 1984, a year after my PhD. And it was so that, because when I was leaving for America in 1977, we only had one medical doctor, one guy that was medical doctor in my own group. So there were probably maybe about 3 or 4 graduates. So I was determined we would bring out more, quite a lot of graduates. So now the whole place is flooded. We have hundreds and hundreds of these graduates.
So I think one of the challenges of talking with somebody of your caliber and your persona is this overbearing sense of humility, which is very un-Nigerian. You don't like to talk about or broadcast your wins. I've been to Geometric. I've seen the way people interact with you. I've seen the comradeship. I've seen the development. You know, as you turn 70, have there been any regrets you have in your life or in what you've done, or that you've not been able to make that much more of an impact?
I have gone through a lot of hurdles, but I cannot say that there are regrets, that I have regrets. I make every effort not to walk into situations where I will have that. Even where I help the political actors get into positions, you know, it's what it is. You know, you help them and they get in. I don't put myself in the middle of things that I will go boxing with anybody. No, but I help and I support.
Okay, I say this because I have a little insight into some of the challenges you've had. You know, and at 70, you still act like you're 50, whereas most people should be thinking now about retiring, taking it easy, flying. I see you're still more active. You talk about expanding geometrics. You're looking for a 4th turbine. You're still going into meetings with financial people. You're still crunching numbers. You know, you're still being very much active. It seems like you still have another 20, 30 years to give. How has this impacted your personal life, your family life? Because it must take a great toll.
Actually, I've been very privileged to be married to a woman who thinks like me. And she's a very strong woman, and we work together. We work very closely together. She's giving me a lot of... In fact, I would say, without her, during the difficult years...
And there were many.
Yes. I would not have been able to survive. But I had determined at the beginning that I was leaving America for Nigeria, and that if things don't work at all, I'll become a farmer. That was what I decided. Yes. But I was not going back to America. And that tells you about my own thinking about the Japa thing. So she had been tremendous support, partnership, I would even say. I would also say that our children have also been our focus.
Okay.
So we look at being able to raise them to become productive members of society, not thinking that they are children of privilege, because I don't look at them in any way like that. They have to be children who are going to be able to stand on their own. So I'll tell you something. The place where they were going to school, secondary school, primary, secondary school in Abuja. So the children from there, during the break, they will go out to whatever country. They come back, they tell wonderful stories. They have our own children, they go to the village. So you can imagine how unhappy they were at the beginning. But today they are so happy about that. I say, how do you get to know your uncles and your aunts and where you come from and the history of your place if you don't go there? You need to go there. And that's why our children are not thinking about this Japa thing. okay, because they're grounded with their feet on here.
I think from what I can gather is you've been a good anchor for that. I mean, being in America, already in the limelight, still wanting to come back. Like you said, the vision, the impact. It's been 70 years of inspiration, grit, grind, patience, and a lot of discipline. What would you say is your biggest win?
Oh,
Oh, okay. Let me give you three biggest wins. Because
I see you should know.
obviously, we'll discount. We're not discount. We're not geometric. Apart from geometric, your three biggest wins.
Okay. One is, I would say, what I did in America, because I was the first African to be a distinguished professor of engineering. There's a professor, it's not everybody here is distinguished. But in America, a distinguished professor is an actual title.
Okay.
Because they have to endow a professorship. So many universities, there are many universities that don't have distinguished professor, but those that have, they make a medal that you wear at major occasions. And so it's a big deal.
Because the way you said it earlier on, it would sound like it was just another professor.
No, it's not. It's a huge thing. So I look at that as a major achievement. Even my university, University of Massachusetts, I was the first black person to be a professor in the College of Engineering. And I know how, and this is a pure, Oyibo university. So to be able to go through that. So that's one. I don't go talking about what we did in the power sector, but within that short period, I was able to drive our country with the support of the president to get into privatization. Because actually, the Act of Parliament was made in 2005. And the only thing that was done with that was setting up the Regulatory Commission. But it was like having done the act and it was put on a shelf. We took it down when the president came on board with me. And it's like taking that Act of Parliament from a 10,000 meter level to 100 meter implementation level. So that to me was another achievement, because I wish that I could say that the vision we had, that anybody buying the asset will have technical capacity and financial capacity, was achieved, but it wasn't. So finally, family, the other major achievement, having the sort of family that God has blessed me with.
So let's get some more insight into Prof the man. What do you do to relax, if indeed you do relax?
Well, I talk with my people a lot. I spend a lot. No, not about power. People ask me, so how is it that you could go from where you are and you'll be sitting with village people and you'll be gisting? I said, but that's the real life. You will not believe how distressing that is. Because when you're able to engage with your people, they give you back something and you give them something. So I spend quite a lot of time doing that sort of thing to relax. But people don't look at it like relaxation,
In watching your interaction with people, with geometrics, and also with people with other, it's sometimes I wondered, why have you not ever heeded the call of being governor?
At one time, there are people who went and bought form for me. This was the last election. So now I went to the governor of the state and said, look, these people, young people, because they came to the village to present me with this form. Some young people shelled out 21.5 million naira of their money to buy form for me. I said, hi, if I don't do something, they will say, this man is putting up his nose. So I said, okay, I will go and try. There were 17 people running for governor. So we made an agreement. We said that of the 17 people, if the governor chooses any one of them, we will support. So we actually wrote it. It was done in my house, and we all signed, including this governor now. So when the governor chose Peter Mba, I said, thank the Almighty. Just thank the Almighty. And the Labour people came, the different party came. I said, no, I am following the agreement. I don't want to. And you know, if I had chosen that Labour ticket, it's a different story. But I'm not interested in being a governor. That's the fact. And I have satisfied my people by going to show that I'm not disrespecting them. But I don't want. So this time, you cannot imagine how many people, how many groups were coming. But I say I want to support. Let me be behind and supporting. So I don't want any of that.
As you turn 17, what do you see in the future? How do you see the future? What would you want to be? What do you make different from Nigeria?
I would like to see the country to recognize that we are part of this world, that this country has everything to become a great country. But we keep saying we're potential. You know, potential must be turned by people. And it requires good people with strong will to do it. So I like to see a future where we can now say that at least you have clusters of real progress in development. Okay, and that's what we are trying to achieve in Aba, and to a large extent in that region. I know that Lagos is doing much to achieve that, because if you're going from here to Abeokuta Road, you will be seeing many companies now coming. But you need the main ingredient for it, electricity. So reliable, quality electricity must come. So we all must do everything that we can to provide that power. That, to me, will be the future. And also what I like to see is, at least in the region where we operate, for that whole area to have stable, reliable, quality power. And what I see about the people is they're not asking for handouts. All they want is just give them that level playing field, which is electricity, and they will just move. And we are seeing that right now in Aba.
So, Prof, the big 17, obviously, we hope to have you back for the big 80.
Hopefully, if God is willing, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kelechi. It's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.